You've probably already heard the most basic injury reports. I'll go over those quickly and then get to my thoughts and questions. Justin Johnson is still not 100%. Once again, they hope and think he will be ready for this week, but it's not certain. Garrett Greene did not practice today, won't practice Tuesday. Wednesday, we'll see. If he doesn't practice Wednesday, odds of him playing this week are pretty small. And Montre Miller needs surgery, and he is out for the season. They will be applying for a waiver to get him another year. Coach Brown thinks he has a good chance, but it does have to go to a committee, and things get weird when you put a lot of people all together. So, where do we stand? In terms of quarterback, this will be the first time that Nico Marchiol has gotten to play after a full week of preparation as number one. That's 75% of the snaps as opposed to 25%. So he will be more prepared. In the Pitt game, they quite simply, backup quarterback generally has a smaller playlist. That is something they go into the game already set. And then based on how the game is going, they adjust. Since the running game seemed to be the best bet, they cut things even more. Ran. That is not an indication of what we're going to see every game, or even every game that Marchiol plays. He's a passer, he's a runner, and he's also very good with his ball handling skills. So they will let him do more because he'll be ready to do more, and it's almost certain to be necessary to do more. Against Pitt, it simply wasn't necessary. So it will be good to see sort of the full Marchiol. He's still young, he'll still make mistakes. That does not mean we'll be seeing Sean Boyle if Marchiol throws an interception. Personally, I'm leaning towards Marchiol being the starter, as you can guess. Ankles are unpredictable, and you don't want to bring Greene back too fast. Brown made it clear that he won't play until he can play with his full athleticism, and that means speed and cutting. With Miller, let me give the upside first. If he gets another year, that's going to work very well for next year. We were going to need an experienced player. Maybe we won't have to go to the portal. By next year, the Jacksons will have a year in the system, although one will likely play safety. And we're bringing in a crap load of defensive backs in the class of 2024, but of course they will be too young for most of them to get significant playing time. Maybe one or two will. So long run, maybe we'll be better off. But talking about next year after just 3 games this year, that don't cut it. But the defensive backs against Pitt, and yes, I know that the Pitt quarterback had all sorts of troubles and he and the receivers weren't on the same page. But the defensive backs graded out pretty darn good on the PFF scores. The problem is that Ruffin and Bishop, who both graded very well and both had interceptions, but they played every play on defense. And Ruffin was on special teams as well. Bishop on kickoff, I believe. You can't sustain that. You can't sustain it against Texas Tech, who runs very fast tempo. And you certainly can't sustain it for the season. Guys wear down. When you wear down, you are more likely to get hurt. So somebody has to step up. What are the options? Well, Wilson Lamp might get his act together. He plays well in practice and makes mistakes in games. So he knows what to do. He has the ability to do it. But something glitches when he gets in the game. Curing a glitch, maybe it's just repetition. But of course, we all know once something gets into your head, getting it out can be tricky. It might all fall into place at any moment. If he can play in games the way he plays in practice, things are pretty good. So, let us hope he fixes the glitch. With Spells, evidently he's not playing much in games when he plays at all, except special teams. That suggests that he is not doing things right in practice. Is it that he hasn't really fully learned what to do? He certainly should have the ability. So, is it just time? Wilson Lamp and Spells are both young. They got experience last year, but it may just take a little more time. Gotta be Wilson Lamp switched from offense to defense. It's not like he's been playing corner since he was 6 years old. So somewhere this season, one or both of those guys will get their act together. At least enough for quality backup time. When? Don't know. Wilson, like I say, Wilson Lamp, it could be any moment. Spells, we've got to figure out what's going on. And I wish somebody in the media would ask more directly why he's not getting playing time, what it is that he is doing wrong. And Coach Brown tends to be very open as he can be, when asked a direct question. The media just seems to wait for him to bring things up. So maybe that's a call-in question for the Kegler show. We also have, as I mentioned before, the Jacksons. They're true freshmen. We saw last year what happens when you play true freshmen. Sometimes it gets ugly. Maybe they will be ready to give some time before the season is out, but hopefully it's going to be limited, because if we have to depend on true freshmen, we're probably in trouble again. Another possibility is that Marcus Floyd will do, something, either corner or nickelback. You know, I don't know if Floyd, Burks, and Wilson were all on the field at the same time against Pitt or not. I think somebody said they were. I haven't checked film. But Floyd has cover skills. He has cornerback cover skills. I don't know if he has spent any time working at corner since they moved him to safety last year. That is another thing that I really wish somebody in that media room had asked. You got a whole bunch of people sitting there, and to me, when the word is Miller is out for the season, the first question is, what are you going to do to help, and will Floyd be part of it? I didn't hear it. Maybe I missed it. Another question that comes up, and one that I think, again, should have been asked before. What is the story with Davis Mallinger? Back in spring and summer, he was expected to be back by now. At least enough to where we would be hearing about him, if not actually getting playing time. Did he have a setback? Is there some disagreement? And when he comes back, and here's where it applies to this video, will he still be a wide receiver, or will they move him back to defense since things are thin? I don't know. I really wish somebody would ask. And that's another Kegler's call-in question. Hopefully I will have a chance to send a message or two this week's show. I'll actually be rather occupied in Chicago at the time, but I'll see what I can do since nobody else has. Let's see, any other little notes here? Brown did say he apologized to the receivers after the Pitt game because he knows they didn't come here just to block. He also brought up how well Braham did block, which is probably why Braham got more plays than Hudson Clement. Clement still has some issues with blocking. And Carter had some significant issues with blocking. And if he doesn't buckle down on that, he is replaceable. We've got Ray. We can move Clement back over to Z. I want Carter to do well. But doing well as a receiver means catching balls and blocking. If you're not willing to do both, your butt's on the bench. It was a problem with receivers last year. We can't let it ride this year, particularly because we do have good, if inexperienced, options. And Carter has said all of the right things. I don't know why he, didn't do his job against Pitt. Hopefully it was just a passing thing. And I dare say coaches got on him about it. And I'm hoping we will see him knock somebody down next week. Well, I think that covers everything for the time being. I'll be back. If nothing else, then on Thursday I will be doing, or I'm planning to do, the Sunday questions. Now, when I will do the Sunday answers, I'm not sure. I will be, on Sunday, I will be doing an antique show all day, packing up, and then driving home. I'll get it in when I can, but it might be Monday. As it is, I'm going to have to be trying to watch the game on my phone while at the antique show. So I probably won't be able to see the game straight through until maybe Saturday night. So I'll do what I can. I hope you'll come back. And even if this hasn't been my best video, please click the thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and share. Let us go beat Texas Tech for a change. So long.